Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 234. 234. I love when the numbers are sequential or something fun is happening with the numbers. It is Wednesday here in Cincinnati. Gray, rainy. We just had a little bit of sun peek through the clouds, but I think we are moving back into rain for a little while, which is so good. Everything has gotten a little dry, so I am grateful for the rain and the fact that we don't have to water the garden and the grass. So, yay to rain. Okay, today is an interesting day already. I mentioned yesterday, or we looked at what the energy feels like with this full moon and the lunar eclipse, with the understanding from astrologers that, that energy begins a little bit before the full moon and it runs for a little bit after the full moon. And so for me, what I'm feeling is a little bit like a hangover, even though I didn't have anything to drink last night. I woke up, there must have been some cloud cover, and so it was dark when I went to sleep. And I woke up somewhere in the middle of the night, and I swear someone had turned the light on. It was so bright, and I looked up at the ceiling, and the reflection of the full moon was coming straight in through the window. It literally felt like someone just put a spotlight right on me and just said, time to wake up. It was a really wild experience. But what I'm feeling today is slow, a little more slow, and not quite cloudy in my mind, foggy, more just really contemplating things, perhaps with a little more focus. And I'm hearing that from several friends and clients that, whoa, what's going on today? So I'm going to name it in this space in case you have a match to that. And what I was guided to listen to when I was getting ready this morning was an Abraham Hicks recording audio, and she was talking again about choosing the emotions that feel better to you, because in that space of feeling better, you become more creative, instead of in the space of feeling negative, you're reacting more to life. And we all know that. I believe most of us experience that, the contrast between reacting and creating, and how different they feel. And I don't know, maybe some people prefer the feeling of reaction, but I much prefer the feeling of creation. And so as I was listening to her, lots. Yeah, when you listen to Abraham Hicks, you you go into a different space. But what I was feeling today is the idea of a spotlight and focusing. And so what I thought we would play with is this idea of widening the lens. When we have a lot of energy moving and illumination is really coming forward in the way that it has been, what that looks like in our physical reality is conversations that maybe bring up emotions that we're not wanting to look at or feel, or a shift in something with our work or our health, and suddenly we're facing, you even use that word, right? We're facing this thing, we're looking at this thing because it's been brought forward and we can't avoid it anymore. When those openings happen, or awarenesses are coming up for us, sometimes we get caught up in trying to figure it out and looking at the detail of it and being right here in the experience of it in this moment, and it's so intense. And now what do we do? And it becomes magnified in a way that feels almost too much, or it's too hard to manage when we're right down in the weeds of it, right looking at whatever it is that's come up for us. And so my suggestion or invitation for today is widen the lens. Allow yourself to pull back from whatever it is that you're looking at in this moment, not to forget it or not to ignore that there is this awareness that's come up. So, for example, let's say you have a conversation with somebody and they say something to you that you haven't wanted to realize about yourself. My suggestion is for today, tomorrow, the next few days, pull back a little bit. Write down what they said, or sit with what they said, or feel the truth of it. But allow yourself to pull back the viewfinder just a little bit. What that offers is a different perspective, or an ability to put that comment or that conversation into the timeline of your whole life, instead of just how huge it feels right in this moment. It puts things into a different context. And I believe a lot of our family feuds and discussions and disagreements and conflicts at work, conflicts even politically or societally, I think a lot of it comes because we're so in this moment of looking right here at it, and it seems huge when we're right in the moment. It seems like that's all that there is. When we're able to pull back and expand our view just a little bit, you don't even have to look at your whole life. You can just look at this year. Where does this conversation or shift in work or health, where does that fit in? How does it fit in when you're looking at it from the viewfinder of a whole year? Or maybe 5 years? It's just not quite as life or death or dramatic or important when we pull back a little while, a little space. The feeling, the word I keep hearing is like tender. There are a lot of tender places that we are being invited to look at that maybe we haven't wanted to for a while. And when you're staring at it, right on it, looking at it, that's all you can think about, all you can talk about it. We make a tender spot like this big ugly wound. And often when we can pull back our viewfinder, it's not an ugly wound. It's just a space of learning. It's awareness. It's a way to come into greater truth with ourselves or with the people around us. As Abraham Hicks would say, it's contrast. It's a way to gather more information and discern, is this what I want? Is this not what I want? But when we're right in it and it feels huge and it feels so critical and important, we aren't able to perhaps make the most informed decision or choice that we can. So play with that for a moment. We'll do it together. Allow your mind, your subconscious, to bring forward something, just one topic or word or relationship or conversation or exchange of energies, anything that has come up just in the last few days. Whatever it is that your soul says, look at this one. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that has been coming up for you. And then imagine you can just be this movie producer or TV director, and you're just going to pull back the camera a little bit. So you can look at whatever it is that's coming up for you right now in the context of the summer. How does this thing fit into what's happening for you over this whole summer? I keep mentioning the cosmic path, how she talks about a wormhole. And we're in this wormhole of time over the summer, and so everything feels a little wonky and different and not quite what it normally would be. So allow yourself to feel how whatever it is you're exploring right now fits into this wormhole of 2 or 3 months over the summer. suddenly perhaps changes form just a little bit. Right, breathe. And then what if you can expand, pull back your camera and your viewfinder and look at what it is that's happening right now with this full moon, lunar eclipse, whatever is coming up for you, in the context of this year of 2019. There's so much happening in this year. There's so much reaction and so much creation and so much messy stuff in the middle of both of those. When we pull back and we look at this whole year, we're only halfway through it. How does what you're exploring right now in this moment fit into this year? And then can you relax your muscles, let your body get the message, it's okay. Whatever it is that's coming up right now, it's okay. And we're going to figure it out and work through it, and it's all going to keep moving forward because time is just going to keep evolving. So, right, can you breathe into whatever is happening right now and put it into context of the year? And then just for fun, we'll pull back one more time. So what if you can pull back and look at the years 2010 to 2020? Whoa, right? 2010 to 2020. When you put this one full moon lunar eclipse into this 10-year, this decade of life, and all that you've experienced so far and are still going to experience through 2020, whoa. Whoa, things just feel a little bit easier, hopefully. For me, it's oh yeah, nothing. Nothing. Look at everything that's happened in the last 10 years. Are you kidding me? Whoa. Allow yourself to relax into a different viewpoint. A different viewpoint. And that doesn't take away from whatever time and attention you're going to give to this topic that's come up for you around the full moon. Doesn't mean you ignore it, you walk away, you override any feelings you have at this time. It's just with the lens being a little wider, perhaps we make a different choice. The family feud isn't quite so important to be a feud. It can come back towards love. Or at least acceptance and understanding, perhaps forgiveness. If it's our health, sometimes when we can feel when the body was healthy and what that felt like, how good that was, we are able to shift our focus on the pain that's in our body to that memory of when it felt strong or good or alive or vibrant. And touching that feeling, touching that, knowing that we've been that before, it can change some of the decisions we might be making right now. For perhaps another helpful image as we move through the next few days with whatever is going to be moving for the full moon. My husband works with spotlights a lot in the lighting work that he does for theater. And what I've learned watching how he works is that there are different ways to highlight whatever it is you want to focus on. And so you can move the camera forward and backwards. You can open the viewfinder smaller and wider. You can change the power of the lens to shift the image that's being lit up. There's so much that you can do with the equipment that allows what is being focused on with the light, spotlighted on with the light, to be shown in different ways. And so that's just a way to play with this. Whatever it is that's coming up for all of us, it's not just me or you, it's all of us. Everyone is having some awareness around this full moon lunar eclipse. There's no way to avoid it. We are souls in human bodies, and it is a shift that is happening. But if we can play with the equipment, if we can play with the way that we are looking at whatever it is that's being spotlighted in our journey, we can make it less intense. We still spotlight it, we still focus on it, we're still going to do whatever needs to happen in our journey to evolve or to continue growing or understanding. But we can soften the stress of it, or the overwhelm of it, or the feeling of intensity by pulling back this viewfinder, putting it in perspective with more time around it, more life events around it. And then perhaps the choices we make are guided more from a soul level than from a human reaction. We move into something that can be created from what is being spotlighted right now, instead of being reacted to. So yeah, it's a time that may feel tender, or you may be jumping and skipping around, feeling like you have more light flying around you and under you than ever before. Whatever your experience is, just perhaps follow the invitation to expand the viewfinder and see how it all fits together. Okay? Yeah, big breaths. Big exhales out. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.